Gal's Garage for part 2 of our 2000 Honda Civic build. What we're actually working on today is replacing the front brakes. I mean, there's probably 1,000 other things we should be doing, like cleaning it, but we figured we'd do the brakes. Just like on video 1, we lowered the car. So as a continuation, we wanted to replace the brakes because they were pretty darn crusty. Also, what we're going to be doing is removing this. You're going to see how easy that basically is to do. Maybe tightening that, who knows. Having said that though, what we're going to be doing is we got all brand new brake parts, which we bought from a local dealer, including calipers, rotors, as well as pads. Yeah, let's get cracking. All right, cool. So as we're continuing on here, what we're going to be doing is removing this rotor. Now, there's a bunch of tried and tested methods for taking these things off. We're not going to use any of them just because we're just, you know, a couple of guys that are not very bright. But we did try using the screwdriver, hammer, the whole 9 yards. We tried heat and a bunch of other stuff, and all the bolts did was just strip away. So we have these metal drill bits, and we're just gonna drill them out and go from there. Oh, one thing though is you gotta remember, now that before I get started, is safety wear, gloves, the whole 9 yards. I mean, better be safe than sorry, right? You only got one set of eyes. I mean, until cyborg eyes are a thing. But anyway, let's go. Cool. Now, as you guys can see, we've managed to remove the screws that hold the rotor? Right, hold the rotor in place. I know what I'm doing, trust me, you should be watching this. This is a very professional video. Having said that though, we've removed both the rotor bolts, screws, whatever you want to call them, and now we're just left with the husk of these. Usually at this point you'd want to drill them out, but as that'll probably take another 1,000 years to do, we'll probably just skip forward to having us put the new rotor on. Perfect, so this is the new rotor. This comes from World Parts, no idea. I got it from, like I said, we got the stuff from the local guy. I just walked in and said, give me decent stuff, not exactly what we call race caliber. As I'm pretty sure once we get this thing driving, it's just gonna explode anyway. And then there'll be an entire engine rebuild thing. But let's throw these things on. Now, one thing you're gonna notice when I put these on, especially if you're anybody that's tech savvy or has done this before, I clearly am not putting the screws back in from the rotors, and that's because I hate them. I hate everything about them. One day I may get excited and go in there and fix all this, but I probably won't. Yeah, I figure the tires will just hold the rotors on. Like I said, this is for entertainment purposes only. This is not an actual guide on how to do this. All right, let's put the rest of the gear on. I actually need to do something else first though. Now, we're gonna take a quick break from the brakes here, and we're actually gonna remove this liner right now, and we're gonna do it in the most, you know, delicate operation. All right, so I'll show you how to do this. You just fucking pull. Ooh, all the treasures we found. Oh yeah. So here you go. So if you've bought a Civic, we noticed this on the other side of the car, and we'll do a quick little like dilly on that side. But as you can see here, this isn't as bad. You can see there's a lot of rusting there. That's from the condensation getting inside the fender and just sitting there. And that's kind of why I'm pulling these things out, just so we can kind of check to see what's going on. I do have other brackets, but as you can see, the holes for the plastic, what do you call them? Screws, washers, whatever. Fasteners, there we go. For the plastic fasteners is just rotted out. So we might as well get this thing off here and get this fixed up in a future video. Success! I'm just gonna put this in the save for later pile. Yeah, so we're on to part 2. Now, based on the video series, you can see we've kind of just taken everything off here, because why not? I mean, oh shit, look at the boot, man. Look at the, oh, might need some new motor mounts. Just throwing that one out there. Anyway, yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and put the new caliper on here. Now, a couple cool things. Well, I guess you could call it cool, but so the bolts actually thread through the back here, and because there's no threads, so they thread from through the back and into the caliper. Now to make things a little bit easier, we're gonna find this thing here. So this is anti-seize. If you don't know what that is, generally it's just to help the bolts from seizing up, hence the name is called anti-seize, and it helps fight rust and whatnot. So we just throw some on the bolts. That's why they have these beautiful paint brushes that come with it. And you just kind of do this. The nice thing about the snap-on wrench is it actually, for us special folks, it has on and off on it. Perfect. Then we got this silicone brake lubricant. We're going to put it all over the back of the pads here just to make sure that everything shifts around and works out nicely. Now we're going to... brake pad is on the rotor, not backwards. There's some pretty funny ones. There we go. I bought it a while ago, and we bought it actually when we did the 928 and the 944 brakes, and it's to push the piston in. So that's all I did on this particular car. Because the piston of the caliper was out a little bit, so I wasn't able to get it over top of the brake pads. So yeah, so now it should just be nice and easy, and should be able to close it just like that. Now I ran into this on the other. Voila. You now have a new set of brakes on your 2000 Honda Civic. After a little bit of pain, a little bit of excitement, everything looks okay. We got them all lubed up. Life is good. So the next will be bleeding the lovely brakes. Now, because we fully, left it kind of, as you can see, drip out all over the floor, so we'll have to give that a good clean, but because of that, what we're gonna have to do is bleed essentially the entire system, including the rear brakes as well. So yeah, there you go. rear brakes on front brakes on a 2000 Civic. Amazing. So just as the last part of the video here, yeah, you've seen me kind of have a little bit of fun here, putting the front brakes together. You do have to bleed, we were talking about, you do have to bleed the system, get all the air bubbles and whatnot out. We're not going to show that on the video because that's just going to be me getting mad pumping brakes and whining about my leg. Having said that though, this is where the brake fluid goes in, and then we're actually going to be using a .3 brake fluid from Lucas, which was recommended. So yeah, so if you think you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Helps us out, helps us grow the channel. Really appreciate it, guys. Thanks for watching.